Me, 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 me. That's
Hey man,
it. Huh?
this lesson's actually about finding your voice on the drums.
Oh, man, I thought you were talking about this voice. Okay, the drum voice. Okay, I can do that. Hey everyone, what's happening? My name is Quincy Davis, and welcome back to another Jazz Drummer Q-Tip of the Week, where I break down and demonstrate different jazz techniques, approaches, and concepts that can really be applied to any genre of music you're interested in. So if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to my channel because I will be coming out with a lot more videos that I think will be helpful for you. And if by the end you enjoyed it, press the like button to let me know. And also make sure you leave comments. I love hearing from you guys, and I try to respond to as many as I can. Let me know what you thought of the video. If you have some questions for me, whatever you want to share, just write a little comment down below. And without further ado, let's get into the lesson. So this is a question that I get a lot, and it's a very important one because we're all trying to become our own individual artists with our own individual sounds and voices, right? So I thought I'd change it up a little bit in this lesson and do a little reading. Don't worry, I won't be reading you a bedtime story. However, I will be reading you an excerpt from an interview that Tony Williams did with a jazz journalist, Stephen Serra. So in case you didn't already know, Tony Williams is one of the most important innovators of this instrument and of the music in general. Amongst people he played with were John McLaughlin, Sam Rivers, Jackie McLean, and of course, the great innovator and important musician himself, Miles Davis, right? But as much of an innovator as we think of Tony Williams, he wasn't always an innovator. When I was a kid, for about 2 years, I played like Max Roach. Max was my favorite drummer. Art Blakey was my first idol, but Max was the biggest. So I would buy every record I could with Max on it. And then I would play exactly what was on the record, solos and everything. I also did that with Art Blakey, Philly Joe Jones, Jimmy Cobb, Roy Haynes, and all the drummers I admired. I would even tune my drums just like they were on the record. People try to get into drums today, and after a year, they're working on their own style. You must first spend a long time doing everything that the great drummers do. Then you can understand what it means. Not only do you learn how to play something, but you also learn why it was played. That's the value of playing like someone. You can't just learn a lick. You gotta learn where it came from, what caused the drummer to play that way, and a number of things. Drumming is like an evolutionary pattern. Tony Williams, 1984. So as you can see, he took his cues and was inspired and really tried to sound like all the masters that came before him. Art Blakey, Max Roach, Philly Joe Jones, Jimmy Cobb, Roy Haynes, right? All these great masters influenced Tony. And once he really kind of understood what they were doing, he used what he learned from them and then did it his own way. And eventually, I mean, he's kind of an anomaly in that he put it all together really quick and got to the stage of innovating very quickly. Clark Terry talks about how there's 3 stages that we all should go through as artists and as jazz musicians. We should go through imitation, assimilation, and innovation, right? Many musicians spend a lot of time trying to innovate, and they're trying to find their voice without really going through those first crucial steps of imitation and assimilation, right? Imitation is exactly what Tony was talking about. You're trying to sound like somebody else. I'd rather sound like somebody great than try to sound like myself and not really sound that good. So that's imitation. It's a step that even I went through. Some of my biggest influences, who I truly have gone through stages of imitating them, include Carl Allen, Philly Joe Jones, Max Roach, Greg Hutchinson, and Bill Stewart. Those are my top 5 biggest influences. At some point, I really tried to sound like them. And I think it's a really healthy stage and thing to do. But then you go to assimilate. So when you go to play, you're putting it all together, and you shouldn't really be focused so much on trying to sound like someone. You're just playing. And because you're putting hours in the practice room, if you need some tips on practice room routine, go there. Not yet, though. Wait till the end of this video. Once you get to the gig, all the things that you've been practicing, they'll come out if you're really spending time in the shed. So you can't force it, right? But you're putting it all together, everything you've practiced. That's assimilation. Now it's time to discover your own voice and do something unique with everything that you've done. And it's not something you really consciously do. It just kind of evolves. It's the natural evolution of your playing, right? Let it happen naturally. You can't force it. Okay, so if you're going through these steps, I promise you, you're going to discover your own voice. And it's going to be unique from anybody else that you've ever listened to. That's the beauty of this, is that as individual as we are as people, our playing and our sound can be individual as well. So your question now should not be, how can I discover my own voice? It should rather be, how can I sound like that person and that person and that person and that person and that person? And through these discoveries and through putting all these different influences together, you're going to sound like you. You're going to sound like you. And it's going to be beautiful. So trust the process and do it. All right. Well, that is the lesson. And hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you're inspired to just spend a little more time imitating and assimilating. And trust me, you will find your own voice. If you enjoyed the video, please press the like button. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe and leave comments. I love hearing from you. So until the next time, take care and practice hard. Bye-bye.